What's up? Welcome back to the channel. If you don't know, now you know. It's Mr. Mo Style, aka Mr. Stay Mobbing also. It's been a minute since I've done one of these. You know, I think I told y'all in the last video, you know, I was kicked off YouTube for a minute. Woo. Man, it's not early enough for me to be yawning. But hey, a few things been going on in the world, so I figured we talk about it. See what y'all think on what's going on. I think the world is going crazy. People losing their mind. I'm seeing a lot of biblical stuff happen, especially with the youth. And that just keeps coming to me because I always thought it was my era growing up, but nah, it's this era. I'm seeing kids kill parents, parents kill kids, kids snitch on parents, parents snitch on kids. It's all types of stuff, all types of just senseless acts of violence and killing that's going on. Man, it's just, we in them times. I guess that's all I can actually say. And if they, like they say, if you don't stay prayed up, I don't know what's gonna happen to you. That's the only thing I can say. I'm trying my best to stay prayed up with everything that I see going on. But I guess one of the things I want to talk about, you know, I was watching the news this morning I was getting out the house, and there's a water shortage going on, and it seems like it's going on everywhere. But out west, Cali, Nevada, Arizona, and a few other states all around that area, they all having a severe water shortage. And they're cutting back in some areas. I think I think California was like 20-some%. They're gonna cut back on water usage, and they making it mandatory, like where everybody got to cut back on water. I think Nevada was like 8%, and I can't remember what Arizona was. So I know people ain't paying attention. Everybody just living and trying to get the bag and all of that. But that bag ain't gonna matter if you ain't gonna have no water. You can have all the money in the world, but if you ain't got no water, you shit out of luck. And you know, the other crazy thing about the whole water shortage that I was watching, yellow Porsches, killing it, is out in Nevada, you know, one of the lakes, one of the big lakes that's drying up, they've been finding, you know, the barrels, the big, like oil barrels. You can use them as water and all of that stuff, but mainly oil, gas barrels. I think you can use them as water, but they've been finding here lately since the lake's drying up. You know, where it once was full of water, all the stuff that went to the bottom of that lake is visible now. So they've been finding barrels with human remains in them, sealed off. And they saying, you know, that's the whole mob thing. You know, that's what the mobsters and you know, the mafia, that's what they did with you back in the day. Put your ass in a barrel, drop your ass off in the river or the ocean somewhere or the lakes, and send your ass to the bottom of that, and you never be found. But they was showing them, like, man, some of them cans had rusted all out, and it was like it pretty much wasn't even a barrel no more over the years. Man, the way those cans look, you would think they would last longer than that. Like it still would be solid, but nah, a lot of that wasn't even solid no more. So I'm like, man, what is eating them cans up in the water like that? I know corrosion, but that's some serious corrosion. So yeah, they found a couple of the cans that had remains in it, and they said they could tell the clothes. Some of the clothes were still intact, but you could tell that they were real old clothes, like from 60s, 70s, and all of that. So, with that being said, we're probably about to find a lot of people who was missing during that area, who was affiliated with the mob, or well, I guess I ain't even gonna say affiliated with the mob, but it got extorted or whatever. For whatever reason, they ended up messing with the mob, and the mob put their asses off them and put them in some barrels and threw them in the lakes. So I think they said it's been like 3 or 4 right now. So we're about to see how many more it be that they find, and I wonder if they're gonna be able to tie it back to any of the any people that's still alive. You know, especially hearing the stories off of Vlad. You know, Vlad had Sammy the Bull. If y'all don't know who he is, go check him out on Vlad. Which he done had a couple of big real mobsters on there talk about everything, what they could talk about. But you know, talk about a lot that was going on at the time, and those that went to jail and did all these murders and everything, and they free now. Y'all go check those interviews out. So yeah, we drying up, y'all. We are drying up. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that. What we gonna do? Because I think we're gonna be running into some we are running into some real problems, and we're not addressing those problems. And we waiting on the government and people who we put in positions to address those problems and solutions, and take care of and do what's right, and take care of what needs to be done. But they're not doing that. They're not doing that at all. In which, you know what, speaking, since I'm on the whole water thing, been watching, which I don't know how it came up in our feed, but it came up in our feed to talk about the homelessness going on across the country and everything, and which this was in Nevada. We just watched this one yesterday. I forgot the company, the guy's name, but he had made these basically tiny homes for the homeless. They were okay. They had a window and a door. It's a small footprint. It wasn't it was a tiny home. It's a real tiny home. If anything, you maybe could have a futon that folds to a couch. That folds to a bed in there. That's probably about it, besides your belongings and all that. Yeah, it had a front door and it had a back window. And it was insulated and all of that. So they said they were pretty good. So I guess he had got them at first, and then he had gave them to some homeless people. The city came, tore them down. They was going back and forth, like, well, it's a nuisance, it's problems that it caused for them to have them. I'm like, I don't understand it. It's more of a problem with people sleeping on the street, but if you give them somewhere to sleep in, and they would be better off than on the street and then in front of restaurants where people are just walking over them. So the city was like, well, you got to buy some land and you got to get some land. So he went and bought some land and put them on. It had like own little tiny community. Everything was going fine, and until somebody decided there to make a makeshift fence out of pallets, and a city inspector was driving by and noticed it and put it on the radar, and they got to arguing, was like, well, we need you. It was a list of stuff they start adding, and they was like, well, this is zoned for a residential house, not a tiny house community. It was designed for like a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom. It was zoned for something like that. Which I'm thinking, like, why does it make any sense what I decided to put on it where it's at? And it didn't look like it had like neighbors, like houses. They didn't see them show no other houses like right around in that area. It looked like it was off in the cut where he bought the land at. So I'm like, why is the problem? So they came and tore it down. People's belongings in the stuff. That shit is just heartbreaking. You're going through whatever you're going through, and they just come and just tear down everything. The lady was there, was like, yeah, some of my clothes. They showed like stuff tore up, piles of stuff. They demoed it down, but they didn't get it all picked up. It was like, yes, my shoes, my clothes still in it. It's like, I don't have nothing now. I'm trying to go through this rumble and get my stuff out. And it's like they rather you be on the street, sleeping on the sidewalk, than actually have you off in the cut somewhere, sleeping peaceful and minding your business. I don't understand this society anymore. It's like I said, nobody wants to do anything. Well, let me pause. Let me say that they are passing a bill which they need to do this all over the country, where you're gonna be able to put tiny homes, places, without all the restrictions. I can't remember everything about it, but you're gonna be able to do that. Cause actually, I want a tiny home. I see him often. Who's the guy I watch? Levi Kelly. Y'all should check him out. He travels to different unique homes and stuff. And he's been through Texas. And he's originally, I think he's originally from Ohio, but I know a lot of his stuff is in Ohio. Well, if you want to just go to getaways and disappear, maybe in some different stuff, from tree houses to container homes, tiny homes. You can book your stays and everything. But check him out, Levi Kelly. You can find him on Instagram too. But yeah, I want a tiny home. Some days I'm like, man, I don't need no big house. I don't need all of that. Just don't. Just think about it. Most people, you don't even get to enjoy your home. Most people don't. They make you work so much that you may get 2 days off just to stay home. And then with that, you be having so much to do, you still never get to enjoy yourself at home. And I feel like that now, just in my apartment. I'm like, man, I don't want to go nowhere. I don't want to do nothing. Some days I just want to stay home, stay on the couch, watch TV or watch something. I just don't want to do nothing. And I'm like, man, because if what I'm paying for rent, I'm like, man, this 2-day stuff, you get to enjoy. And it used to be where, when you get up in age, you retired, and which is still crazy. You work 40, 50 years to retire, only to live maybe another 5 to 10 years, and then you up out of here. You never really get to enjoy life. So yeah, the tiny homes is a good thing, and what they're, this is how the world is treating the homeless and people. It's sad. Matter of fact, I'm passing some right here. It's a tiny home, Felices. But it's just sad, and everybody just want to keep pointing the blame or tearing your stuff down and letting you sleep on the street. Don't want to give you nothing. Which I get, yeah, you gotta work, but sometimes people falling on hard times. It was one that I was watching where the lady ended up being homeless. She was sleeping in her car. A lot of people it's this parking lot is gated, and they allow people to come in and who's homeless to sleep overnight. Everybody had vehicles, if I remember right, but they can pull their vehicle up there somewhere to be safe, and then the gate locks everybody in at a certain time at night, so can't anybody just be coming in and out all through crazy times of the night, which is cool. I get what they doing, but the lady, she was only there because her husband decided one day he didn't want her no more. I think she said he put her out, ended up getting a divorce. He took everything, and she was like, I didn't want nothing. But she got the vehicle, the van. It was like a little, was it a van? I think it was kind of like a little minivan, or it could have been a hatchback or something. And she was like, I can't afford nowhere to go. And she works. So it's not like these people, a lot of these people are actually working, but they can't afford the rents that's going on in the country. And she was out in Cali, so Cali already been high for everything. I had partners who was out there, was like, yeah, I was paying like $3,000 for like a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom or something a month. I'm like, that's fucking ridiculous. That's just crazy for the prices, and they're not doing no rent control. They're just letting people come in there and just charge whatever they want. Which, in the beginning, I got that, when we was at a time, and yeah, we're not at them times no more. It's not enough affordable housing. More and more people are being homeless. I'm gonna be honest, that's like one of my top fears of having nowhere to go on the street, dying, leaving my family with nothing. That's like one of my things. It gets me up every day and try to figure out something, but it's hard for a lot of people. And there's no more compassion for people in this world. So, I think God is going to handle that. I really do. I think God is going to handle that with everybody. Because eventually he's going to be like, well, I didn't give y'all a chance to straighten this out. Like, he give us the freedom of choice to do what's right, and if we don't do what's right, eventually he's gonna be like, I tried. But then some of that is gonna be like, I know people be like, man, you let all the bad people be in control and do everything. Because I feel like that in some ways. Some days, like, all the people that want to do good get struck down or stuff, like the person who made the tiny homes. He's talking like, man, we gonna keep doing, we gonna keep pushing, we gonna figure it out, and keep trying to help some of these people who are really in need who won't help out here. but they got another couple years. They saying for the whole tiny home thing that it'll be I guess when they decide to pass the bill or law or whatever, it's still 2 more years to 2024. Instead of them just making this right now to be able to do this for tiny homes. And you know, one of the best tiny homes, which actually I want to go out there to their facilities, that I've seen so far, and I want to make an investment in them, is called Boxable. Y'all have to check them out. I'll probably throw some a link down for y'all to go check them out there and invest. But they make so far right now they call casitas. I think it's a 1-bedroom, living room, kitchen, bathroom, everything. $50,000. And the great thing about these is that they fold up. The walls and everything fold up just like a box. Everything's efficient, windows, the whole 9, doors, all of that. It takes a few hours to set up and install, especially if you already got your foundation and all of that, their stuff in, you're good to go. So, I think those are a good way to start with the affordable living right now. Some tiny homes. $50,000, you can't beat that. I'm already looking at like 3 of them. And they supposed to be doing some working on another model that's gonna have like an upstairs. I think downstairs is probably gonna have like your if I remember right, your living room and your kitchen. Then the upstairs would be a bedroom, which I really like that one. But if you know, $150,000 a piece, you buy 3 of them, you can be like, hey, I just want one with my bedroom and bathroom in it, one with my living room, or maybe have 2 of them as your living room and kitchen. You good to go. And I think the casita, it was maybe like 500 square feet or something. I could be wrong on that. It could have been a little bigger or a little smaller. But actually, I gotta put up where am I going? So yeah, y'all check those out. I'm gonna put the link for that Boxable in there, because something needs to be done. I think that's a good way to help people who fell on hard times, want to get back on their feet, want to work, want more in life, want to do better. That's a way to help them get on their feet. Because with the way rent's going, man, I would charge $500. If I get rent for $500 a month right now, I'd be balling. Man, I'd be everywhere. If I can get rent for $500 a month. It's like my mama, she been living where she's at since I was what? It's been over 20 years, I'll say that. And with the city, they got her grandfathered in, like her rents can't go up crazy from the people who was one of the first people who moved into this. It was a brand new complex at the time. So her rent's only like $600 a month. Like, man, if I could get that, man, that would be nice. I wouldn't have no troubles. I probably will. I'm still gonna have troubles, but I'll be able to, like, you know what? I'm straight. It's nothing. I got that. Instead of like, man, how am I gonna figure this shit out? It's 2 different things when you're like, man, problem comes, like, I'll take care of it. Compared to when a problem comes and be like, fuck, how the hell am I gonna figure this out?
I-35 south for 1 mile.
So yeah, I think those Boxable cribs is gonna change some things. And I heard D.R. Horton, the big home builder. They invested in them recently, real heavy. So that's a good thing. We're gonna see what they do. If D.R. Horton start,
Then merge onto North I-35 frontage road.
if D.R. Horton starts
Merge onto North I-35 frontage road. Jack
buying
Culture
up
Freeway. Then continue
land and
straight to stay
building
on North I-35
tiny home
frontage road.
communities, because that's something I want to get into. Just for that, for
Take a
people.
straight to stay on North I-35 frontage road, Jack Culture Freeway. Then turn right after IHOP. Turn
For,
right after IHOP on the right onto South New Road.
For people who want people who want to be able to live below their means. And yeah, it's nice having a nice big house, but sometimes you really don't need a nice big house. You don't. And yeah, so we got to do something about helping people in need more, helping the homeless out,
Take the ramp to Providence, Texas 6 North.
giving them a chance to get back on their feet and all of that. So, you know, I just want to know what y'all think about everything, you know, with the drought going on.
Take the ramp to Providence, then merge onto West Loop 340.
We got a food shortage coming up, going on, people ain't paying attention to. We got a lot of issues in America, a lot of issues, and they not addressing them. And I think we're gonna have to do something with these politicians. These people we put up in office, and they'll call it a nuisance, but they don't want to do nothing. So it won't be a nuisance, and it's still positive, and
Use the left lane to stay on West Loop 340. Then use the left lane to take the Texas 6
and you're
North
helping
ramp.
another human. That's why I say, man, somebody, either
Use the
I'm not a
left lane to
human,
take the Texas 6 North
or these
road,
people
then
are not
merge onto
humans.
Highway 6 North.
'cause nobody treats anybody like a human being anymore. And that's just sad. That's where, this is what we have come to here in America. There's no compassion,
On Highway 6 North,
no understanding.
1.5 miles.
no none of that. So we got to do better. We got to do better. But that's all I wanted to holler at y'all today. I'm about to go get this ticket done. Getting close to where I'm at. So y'all let me know what y'all think, man. What we gonna do as a society to change, to make everything better. Oh yeah, and it's time for a new party. Party that's gonna go against the Democrats and Republican Party. And you know, Ice Cube was saying it back for the whole election thing. We didn't listen. Well, I listened because I was on board with what he was talking about. I was with it, and still am with it. But I think that's gonna be the only way we make some change. It's time for a new party.
Texas 298 Spur.
With everything going on, yeah, it's time. But hey, thanks for y'all checking in. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up, hit that notification bell,
Take the exit
and
US 84, then merge onto West
stay
Loop
tuned for the
340.
next time. I got something to talk about. You did. Peace.